allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, see them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Aha. Now him una don't hear, oh. All these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. Where they thief our money, we no want to make the common man get waiting in supposed get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one, Maiyegun. You go show na paper. Maiyegun diary Politico. So my people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. Thank you very much for joining me. Remember, after reading the caption of the broadcast, you should read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, hear it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them to join us. Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. Just like that. And then we can get started. But we are not going to start with, from the writer of the broadcast this evening. We are going to start with the heading of the broadcast, which is the recent outburst or interview of Rufai, the Kaduna Little Finger. He spoke to the daily trusted team just about the ongoings in Nigeria, where he took on Kolu on Akpabio. Okay, he said he didn't actually really know Kolu like that it was some Islamic leaders from southwest Yoruba land that approached him to support a southern Muslim to be president. And after that, everything that happened between them, they are just, circumstantial. So he didn't know him. He called Akpabio a vagabond, by the way. But in Abuja today, right, Omoyele Sowore joined the call for mandatory electronic transfer of election result, electronic transmission of election result, rather, because they have been battling between these two words, transfer, transmit. We are going to get to that. So the next 10-15 minutes of this conversation is going to be what Rufai recently released into the atmosphere that is already brewing into their usual toxicity. So please, as you're joining, remember, like, share, and invite your friends. Subscribe to the channel too if you haven't already. So let's start with Rufai just before we go to Abuja, because we are really going to be busy there this hour, right? So Rufai was talking about Kolu and why he supported Kolu and why he wasn't really expecting anything from him in that regard, by the way. So here is where we're going to start from. Rufai, the Kaduna little finger.
To ask you, how or why did you fall out with Tinubu, given the way you were putting yourself out there to ensure that he became the candidate of your party, then the APC, and all of that, all those meetings that you are like spearheading other governors then to do. And then here you are now sitting out as one of the main opposition people to Tinubu. What is it that broke?
Okay, you see, first of all, yeah, look, I think it's important to make this clarification. I like your question because there is an assumption that I was ever Tinubu's friend. I was not. We never got along with Tinubu. Okay, we never had a personal relationship. We never had a prior relationship like the one I had with General Buhari of blessed memory. Okay, so I want everyone to understand that. For me, Tinubu was initially an aspirant of the party, and I was approached by certain Islamic stakeholders from the Southwest and asked to support the emergence of a Southwest Muslim presidential candidate. That was how even the discussion started. And for me, as governor of Kaduna State and as one of the founders of the APC, I knew that we had an understanding with the South, or specifically the Southwest, that after 8 years of Buhari, power will go to the South. It was a matter of principle. I stood for that. It wasn't about Tinubu. Tinubu just happened to be an accidental beneficiary of that. Now, as soon as Tinubu won the primaries, it is a principle of mine that I fight for the candidate of my party in every election to win, whether I like the candidate or not. It's not whether I like Tinubu or not. The fact that he emerged as the candidate of the party, for me, I would give everything to ensure that he won. And that's what I did. Now, I don't think we fell out with Tinubu, okay? We fell out, we didn't fall out with Tinubu. We just could not find areas of agreement. Okay, there was no equilibrium. We couldn't agree. I'm a different kind of person. I am in government for different reasons. I am a public servant, and I believe that public service should be about delivery, about results and performance. It's not about making money for yourself. It's not about stealing. It's not about appointing your cronies. It's not about appointing your tribesmen and women. Even if the offer that Tinubu made to me, which he publicly appealed to me to take up, to be a minister in his cabinet, even if that had gone through, I would have left the government long ago, because the philosophy of this government is contrary to everything that I have been taught as a Muslim, as a northerner, as a Nigerian, to stand for public good. These guys don't care about public good. They didn't come to govern. They came to enrich themselves, pure and simple. So we are different people. So it should not surprise anybody that knows me and knows Tinubu to see that we are parallel lines that will never meet.
Let's talk about godfathers and godsons. Your own godson, the sitting governor.
So that's Rufai. As usual, right? Going lyrical of why he did what he did. Number one, some Islamic leaders from the Southwest. And he was the one who sold the idea of the Muslim ticket to Kalu in the first place, by the way. And then they decided to disgrace him publicly by appointing him as ministerial nominee, only to be rejected by the Akpabio Senate. And he referred to him, he said, look at this conversation around mandatory transmission of election results. That shouldn't, by all means, right, lead to all these controversial confrontations and all that. So he called Akpabio a scumbag, in his words.
To recommend restoration. Now it is up to the Senate, well, particularly the Senate president, because I think majority of the senators also want the same. The majority of the senators are gentlemen. They want Nigeria to move forward. They are distinguished former governors, former ministers, and former representatives. They are distinguished people that want to see Nigeria make progress. And I think the Senate will overwhelmingly outvote their presiding officer. Because let's be clear, it is not the Senate here that's the problem. Akpabio, who is a scumbag by every definition, is the problem. And Akpabio is nothing but Asuaju's lapdog. That's what's going on. And the senators will have to come together and protest and prevent that from happening when they reconvene.
But Mr. Akpabio himself will also protest on the use of your choice of word to describe him. He may have his issues, but certainly it's good to stay within the limits in terms of describing maybe distinguished people like him, don't you think?
I do not consider him distinguished. We've known each other since the 90s. He knows how far we've been through, and I think I'm qualified to call him a scumbag, and he knows why.
Can we move on to the larger picture? You earlier said that it is the ruling party that is against this whole thing because, as you allege, it could lose the elections. But are you also not considering the fact that the president will have to assent to this before it becomes law? How do you think that could happen if what you earlier said is right?
Yes, what I said is absolutely right. And my sense is that when the National Assembly overrides Akpabio and includes this provision, the president may withhold assent, in which case it will come back to the National Assembly for them to exercise their two-thirds override, to override his veto. I think that will happen because I think the voice of Nigerians is very loud and clear as far as the National Assembly members are concerned. And for their own self-preservation, they must preserve this provision for the real-time transmission of results from the polling unit using electronic means. It's for their own survival. It's for the survival of this democracy.
But others may not be as hopeful as you are, given what this same National Assembly has done over many issues, like the way it changed the national anthem, the way the tax laws were passed, and all the controversy about actually what is the version that has been gazetted and all of that. There has been no clarity on this all-important issue. So how do you expect it to be any different over this matter of almost life and death, that is winning or losing an election?
Because we're in election season. And 2 years ago, they can change the national anthem in 5 minutes. Last year, they can play games with the tax reform bills. But now they know that 2026 is the year of preparing for elections. It is the year that candidates will emerge. And Nigerians are watching, and Nigerians are angry, and Nigerians will punish them if they go the way that Akpabio and Tinubu want to recommend restoration.
Are Nigerians angry, unhappy, for real? And if they are, is he actually in El Rufai's place to become that kind of like a mouthpiece? Some of these questions are not meant to be answered, so don't worry. So yeah, El Rufai called Akpabio a scumbag that is ready to do anything and everything that Kolu wants, obviously. So they are referring to him as Kolu's wife. I'll show you that image very soon. So yesterday, when Peter Obi joined other Nigerians to demand that stop playing games with people. People are not dumb, okay? Your job is to make laws. Yours is not to determine how that law is to be implemented or if it's going to be implemented or not. They want real-time electronic transmission of results. Put it in the law. That's it. Let INEC come back and tell you, the National Assembly, that, oh, listen, we can't do live transmission in this and that and that and that areas for this so and so reasons. And then it will now be the job of the National Assembly to also help them further in kind of like a fixing that. Akpabio and his gang are already acting like they are the INEC. Okay, so therefore they would decide what they think is right or wrong, even though there is huge uproar to say, put it there. INEC participated in this, their consultations and all that they did during the bill, right? The INEC said they have what it takes to conduct elections and transmit the results live, right? But there is some shady areas that a lot of people are not paying attention to. I am going to help us open that up a bit. And if you have already been like seeing through the whole lies and shenanigans about this whole thing and their 2027 charade, right? Maybe we're on the same page, but we're going to get to that part. So for now, when Peter Obi joined them yesterday, they promised that today, which was the day they put together they called their emergency plenary to call back all the senators that, you know what, don't wait till 24th of February. Before we reconvene, we would have to do it now. So the protesters yesterday then promised them that there will be huge other turnouts today, which will make it more hectic for them in case if they continue to double down on, you know what, we can't do e-transmission and all that stuff. So to El Rufai, if he was in Nigeria, he would have joined Obi, because I was asking that where were the other leaders of the opposition? Because this is exactly how it should be. If you're going to participate in a charade and you are telling them that if they rig you, voila, go day, but yet you couldn't lead the people or the millions of people you are promising to rescue from these guys. But Rufai said if he was around, he would have joined. Atiku also supports, but he's not physically there, right? Rufai, in his own defense.
Some members of your party, including Mr. Peter Obi and others, joined a protest at the National Assembly over the current big issue, this electronic transmission of results during election. Where do you stand on that matter?
It's unfortunate I have not been able to return to Nigeria before today. I would have joined Mr. Peter Obi and other party leaders in protesting to the National Assembly to restore the real-time and mandatory transmission of results from the polling unit. It is the only way we can stop the manipulation that goes on in the collation centers. That is where the real rigging takes place. Rigging doesn't take place in the polling unit. It is in the collation centers. And this provision, which has been passed by the House of Representatives, but sadly being frustrated by the Senate, would have improved the quality of our elections. But we all know why the ruling party and the sitting government doesn't want that, because they know they can't win the elections. And the only way they have a fighting chance is to be able to manipulate the results after people have voted. So I would have joined them if I was in Abuja. I would have joined them. I would have been with Mr. Peter Obi.
How do you think it will pan out, given the fact that the Senate itself, or at least its leadership, appear to have dug into their position because there are already claims by the minority members of the Senate that what they agreed on was not what was passed. How do you think all this could be sorted out at the end, since the Senate itself says it is reconvening tomorrow over the matter?
Well, I think the conference committee will make its recommendations first. I am confident, looking at the composition of the conference committee and the integrity of a majority of its members, they will recommend the restoration of the provision for the real-time transmission of results from the polling unit. So I think the conference committee will resolve this in favor of the people of Nigeria, because this is about the people of Nigeria. It's really not about elections or about APC or ADC or any other party. It's about giving Nigerians the opportunity to vote for whom they want, and that result should not be subject to any.
Some members of your party, including Mr. Peter Obi and others, joined.
He would have joined them, like he said, and yeah, back to the expectation that, wait, maybe with this level of reactions, right, that Akpabio will do the right thing. So today, people gathered in Abuja, a lot of them, Rotimi Amaechi, Omoyele Sowore, you have Solomon, Dalong, something, Aisha Yesufu, this guy called Peter, right? And then many others, right, who gathered with the same sing-song. Akpabio, you may be Tinubu's second wife or the second vex lady of Nigeria. But if you don't want to blow up this democracy in Nigeria, you would have to do what the people want, which is the real life or real time electronic transmission of election results. So this morning, like I said, they all gathered with their speeches, okay, in front of the National Assembly of Nigeria. But let me give you a bit of a throwback to 2022, right? How they arrived at the current, the one they used for 2023 election, Electoral Act. How they arrived at that ridiculous one that they, in fact, gave the total control to the INEC to decide as they wish, okay, by changing the goalpost in the middle of the game. So how did they arrive at that? Who and who at the time insisted that electronic transmission of results was not possible because of their own communities? A bit of a throwback, ladies and gentlemen.
Because there are no coverage in my village, I vote no. My name is Eyinaya Baribe, and I vote yes to Nigeria, yes to electronic voting. I hereby vote no.
Mr. President, I stand on the side of the people, of Nigerians. I vote yes.
In support of electronic transfer, electronic transmission of results, I vote no.
I stand for the commission may transmit results of election by electronic means.
I support the transfer of results through electronic process by INEC.
I stand to say yes for electronic transmission of election results.
Mr. President, I vote no.
Mr. President, I vote yes.
Okay, thank you.
To electronic transmission of results.
I vote capital no on the electronic transmission of voting.
Mr. President and my dear colleagues, I vote yes to electronic transfer of results and electronic voting. And
on behalf of the very rural and network deprived people of Niger North, I say a very big and capital underline no.
What we have passed, and I can recollect this vividly, because I read that act when it was a bill several times, is to transfer, after all the paperwork that we normally do are done, the agents and everybody there, security, everybody will have the papers. INEC will snap will scan or snap the result sheet and transmit or transfer or whatever it is. And for me, my understanding is if any result that was captured and sent differs from something gotten somewhere, that one is illegal.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Let me clear my throat, because I want you to please pay attention to what I am going to say in the next few minutes. It could be very important for you to really understand the entire sort of like rigged system, how they put in place a rigged system, okay, before anybody notices at all, okay? In 2022, that those guys were saying yes, no, no, yes, yes, no. That was the moment they agreed that INEC should decide whatever they think was practicable. So they stated it in that law that INEC should decide. So INEC then went down. They went international. They out up to the United States of America. They came to this UK. They were everywhere, telling everyone about this new technology that's going to transmit election live. They demonstrated it. They practicalized it in Ekiti and Osun. And it was like, boom, it's doable. But the questions people were not really asking at the time, right, eventually popped out after the charade or during the charade election. BVAS is the machine that is going to accredit you as a voter. So the machine will capture you, the device will capture you, verify you, and confirm that you can vote and you have voted. So that same machine is also expected to be used when election is done, conducted, results is written on the result sheet, announced to everybody there. So they will now take the screenshot of the results sheet and upload it into a place called iRev. And guess what? That is not real life transmission of election results. No. Because you know something? When that election started, and we were looking at all the results popping up, and everybody were like doing the accumulation and you know, all of that. The next thing you started seeing pictures of the supposed trained INEC election staff, election officials. They were using the BVAS to take selfie pictures. And they are posting that as the result of Rumokoro local government area. How could the selfie picture of this guy be the result of this polling unit? So at the end of the day, mess the entire things up. Okay? So that's what they are about to do to you again now. You want electronic transmission. You want it in the law. Okay, fine, put it. But make it alternative to manual. The one they said they called transfer. Transfer is when you finish your election, this and that. They may announce the election result to you and say, oh, party A won, party B lost. They'll pack the ballot papers, election result paper, everything, right? They will move them to a place called the collation center, where suddenly 50 votes will suddenly become 550 votes. 39 votes will suddenly become 390 votes. And they will enter all of that into one bigger sheet. And that's what they're going to go out there and announce. You can then be listening and say, no, we didn't have election, or there was no election in our own place, so they disrupted the whole thing. Or say, well, there was election, they've announced result of your area. But a real-time transmission of election results prevents all of that. And the conversation around how INEC should build a system that will allow that is yet to even start. But today in Abuja, people decided to give it a last push, but they got played. Here was Aisha.
You are here showing today's show of force when citizens are out there being killed. Border State, they operated from sunset to sunrise. They killed people. They slaughtered people. Children. A village head, his 2 children that are medical students, they killed and they captured all. Every one of you here, you have children. Every one of you. Imagine in front of your houses, they carry your child that you have suffered. That for those of you that are women here, have carried for 9 months in their womb. You know how hard labor is. You give back to that child, to those children, and they come out. For those of you who are men here, for those of you who know what it is to pay those school fees, all year in, year out, primary school, nursery, primary, secondary, the child is in the university, and then they slaughter that child. And you are here protecting the people that will never stand for you, that will never protect you. When you leave this job, you will meet us on the street and you will call, you will beg us to stand for you. I tell you that smile will be wiped out of your face when you see your child lifeless in front of you. And God will strike you if you say God forbid. Because those people whose children are being killed, they are citizens just like us. They are citizens just like us. Those para people, and go and meet them. They will carry ballot boxes and go and meet them. They will tell them to vote. But here we are. All we are asking for is an electronic transmission of results. All of you that are here, I ask you, have you ever entered a new car? Have you ever entered a new vehicle? Very minimum. These people, they get into office every 4 years. They will buy new cars for them. All of them don't understand them. When I go ask police where the other country, they still buy cars by themselves. They still buy new cars, right? The senators and the National Assembly members, so now they protect. They use your money, buy cars for themselves. When last did any of them? That they packed all of you with the insecurity that is in Abuja, and they said you should come here and come and attack innocent protesters. You are here barricading a people's parliament. You are using your car to barricade, and it is sweetening you. You will leave here today. You will go to your offices. You will go and meet your family, and you say you came out and did a good job. And tomorrow, your child will be asking you, why is Nigeria like this? You will sit down and you'll be casting and binding. You are the enemies of Nigeria. You are the reason why we have issues here. And the thing is, the institution is not their private.
So that was Aisha. And I believe that was before the arrival of other big wigs. Amaechi was there too. So Rotimi Amaechi was present, like I said, and he was asking those who were present as well, like, nobody should ask you why you are here. Is your life better now? If you have the opportunity of changing that, right, won't you use it? So it is the ideal thing for everybody to stand up and tell Akpabio that he doesn't own Nigeria, even if he's acting on behalf of a Kolu, right? This may be too much kind of like meat for him to bite. Again, Amaechi, like others, are expecting millions of Nigerians, okay, to be on their side so that they can make a lasting impression on the establishment and possibly even get them out of the power. But yeah, Rotimi Amaechi.
I wonder the numbers of police we have in the state. I wonder the numbers of police we have in Delta, in Kano State, where we have these numbers of police here gathered, while the CIA report told us that we have about 370
assume that we are part of the government. It's life for you better now than it was when I was living.
Well, I'm just one of the whole.
No, answer now, because it is worse now than it was then. In Buhari's time, at least, even though we are planning to do something, we had other plans for something. We are not feeling this bad now. I don't know whether I was corruption or not. I don't want to say that, but the corruption here. What will you say?
Well, I have to remain unbiased.
I was unbiased about knowing that they are serious. Okay, guys, and here I don't know how to do it. $16 billion contract, Coastal Road. Did we award it without due process? Buhari did those things.
If you were still a part of it,
I would not. But don't forget I left.
Why? Because some of your expectations were not met.
I left because the one I told you you can't spend it. You cannot do what will benefit Nigeria.
That will guide the conduct of the 2022 election.
That he will still not win this election, despite all this.
Let's wait and see now. You know what people don't know is the will of the people. There is a number of persons that are killed. So let's wait and see. Okay, how will he win? You know, when we are fighting, we looked at the election results. We looked at the man that will win the 19 states of the law. We won the 19 states of the law. We say we needed only 3 or 4 states in the south. Right? Now we got the 3 or 4 states. At that time, it was 4 people. Take the president. Where is it? It's in jail for 5,000 persons. But Nigerians are afraid. That's why in my car I always play Tela. Because it's fear. They put that fear in you. Somebody won. The one that okay. So compare our time. I'm talking to you now. Compare our time when we were here to the current. Then we had Buhari. Then we had who were always on the streets. We were shot at. We were killed. We were on the streets protesting. And the government listened. If you think that President Tinubu will listen to you, you are probably going to waste your time. So the only way we are going to make sure that we don't waste our time, we must go and get both farmers, villagers. We must get everybody to get them to hear that the only way to save Nigerians from election violence, is to allow transmission, real transmission. What's wrong with that?
So why are they refusing?
They are afraid to lose power.
No, it's over
the stealing is too much. They are afraid to lose power.
So what do you think we have to win this election?
I don't know.
We have an emergency session.
I don't know.
Do you think they will
I don't know. For me, as somebody who was national assembly, who was the parliament, we only pass when we were there. We only pass laws according to the dictates and needs of Nigeria. We don't pass laws based on it.
Sir, over the weekend, INEC chairman did a tour for the mock accreditation ahead of FCT election. There was a sensitive question that was asked. I was there around Shafa. The channels guy asked him, sir, we're talking about electoral transmission and Rivers working and IRM and the rest. Now we're looking at remote areas where
what's remote? Go and buy Starlink. How much is Starlink?
That's where I'm coming to now. That's where we are coming to. The guy asked him for those remote areas where there will be network issues. Do they have a backup plan? It's an indication that probably these things could be rigged or manipulated.
So when you ask the question, you just ask why as a simple reason, it's an interest. So I think I came with my son so that when there is a major protest, we will come together. You will see me in front with my children. I won't be behind. But the problem is that Nigerians must wake up.
Thank you, sir.
Now beyond your son.
Come out. Okay, rather make an allegation that the opposition party has hijacked. That's not true. Knowing that we are prominent people in the opposition.
Okay, if it's the opposition party, you see that's one reason why they want to come out. Because I think that the opposition party should come out. I believe that PDP, APC, ADC, everybody should be out. Should bring everybody out.
PDP is an arm of APC.
Well, that is
the remnant of PDP
no, it depends on which type.
It's a directorate.
So there's another APC, PDP that is with governor of Oyo State. If we come out, then they will present. What are they afraid of? I thought they said they have 31 governors. Tinubu is not Jonathan.
He supports the idea of everybody should come out. Opposition should come out. All over the world, right? Opposition will lead protests against major policy disagreement or push, but not in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, most of the people in the opposition, they are also part of the establishment. They cannot burn down the bridge or burn down the house that is feeding all of them. You understand? So their fight for political space, even no matter how dirty or sometimes how bloody it becomes, they always want to protect the establishment in that sense. It's like an esprit de corps, kind of like unwritten agreement, so to say. So Nigeria has no real opposition. People seem to have kind of like accepted that, if you ask me. How can you have, even with their own bogus charade election of 2023, the recent one, how could you have millions of votes and then Tinubu and his gang are riding roughshod on everybody like nothing? They would just make noise. They would, everybody would disperse. Everybody would go their way, and that nothing is going to happen. How is that even convenient? How is that possible? How is it hard for the opposition like Atiku and the Obi? So why is it so hard for them to mobilize at least 1 million people in the city? I keep asking myself, well, it is what it is. Like, if you like them so much that you wanted them to be president, over 6 million of you wanted Obi to be president. Over 6 million as well, nearly 7 million wanted Atiku to be president. If you add the two of them together, that is over 13 million. Why is it so hard that these people can't call out 2 million, 3 million from people who wanted them to be in power when they are going through hell in the hand of the ones there now? There's a guy that is always different from the establishment in his own way. Omoyele Sowore. He was there today with his own Revolution Now group, who also joined something you can call the bipartisan protest to demand for this lawful section of the 2026 Electoral Act. So where was there? I said, his entry.
All of us are second. Come on, We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity. Steve!
What's the problem? They don't want to pass the bill. They don't want to pass the bill. Akpabio.
Pass the bill. Hey, Oga! Don't push. Don't push. Don't push. Hey, don't push. Don't push. Don't push. Don't push. Don't push. Yes. Why more they go? More they go. We are going to National Assembly. Pass the bill.
We can't do it. You can't tell us we have to enter and we are not to enter. This is our part.
Pass the bill. 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 Steve, where your mind? Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Nigerian people. Good times, Nigerian people. Good times, Nigerian people. Nobody should ask me here. Nobody should ask me here. I'm not joking here.
Cool temper. That's a Sowore's entrance. They tried to barricade the road as they did while Aisha was complaining earlier, right? So they broke through the barricade, which is still far off from the National Assembly complex. At that point, Sowore, spoke his mind, and as usual, he never really missed. Here, Omoyele Sowore.
We are here. We are here in solidarity with the organizers of this event.
No, drop the mic. I need to drop it
now. I'm here
I'll chase you guys away
on behalf of the Nigerian people. I'm here because Nigerians are tired of this particular National Assembly. Nigerians are tired of the government in power led by Tinubu. And to be honest with you, this demand for electoral reform is small compared to what the Nigerian people are asking for.
Yes.
The Nigerian people are even tired of elections.
Exactly.
The Nigerian people are asking for a revolution. And as I've always said, Tinubu, thank you very much. Welcome, Peter. Good job. Tinubu, Akpabio, and the rest of them will help us bring about a revolution in this country.
Yes.
That's what I'm happy about. Yes. Because they cannot escape it.
At all.
you can imagine just a simple request to transmit election results
electronically
as it is happening.
They can do it. Real time.
You know, I'm not even personally interested in transmission. I'm interested in electronic voting, where people can vote from their houses.
Exactly.
And the results will be reflected. It's not counting. It will be reflected as you are voting.
Yes.
Because if you can send millions of naira from your phone, you should be able to vote on your phone. But I'm very sorry, these idiots, both in the National Assembly and the executive arm, they said even that is too much. Something that is obsolete in other countries.
Obsolete.
I was with other chairmen of parties, with the INEC chairman, and he told us that India has been doing electronic voting for years now.
More than 300 million registered voters in India.
Let me correct you. There are 900 million registered voters.
Imagine.
The results, the elections are conducted and nobody goes to court.
Real time.
The same thing is happening in Brazil. What you are required to do after you vote is to keep a receipt of who you vote for.
Yes.
So if there's a dispute, you just send out the same way you send the receipt of somebody you have paid. Of your transaction. It's a transaction affair. And they will be telling you that there are no internet network in 9 states. But there is, listen to this.
Yes, sir.
There is no state Akpabio goes to in Nigeria that he doesn't find network to connect with his girlfriends.
Exactly.
There is no state that Adams or Omoyele goes to that he doesn't have network to rub the feet of the Ashawus.
Exactly.
So they have been giving you all these excuses so that Nigeria will not progress in our own time.
Yes.
But we have decided that Nigeria must progress in our own time.
Whether they like it or not. No.
And that's why I was warning the police officer who was lifting up a tear gas canister. If you shoot a tear gas here, you have started the war. Because we have told you many times we are not your enemies. Yes. But if you want to turn us to your enemies, you know what NSAS is all about.
Yes.
And if this country is good, it will be good for you too. I once came to this National Assembly to fight for policemen. 74,000 of them were promoted because of that since 2025 January and now. These policemen. So don't appeal to them anymore.
No.
We are past that stage. But I want to thank all of you who are here. I'm aware that they are having an emergency meeting.
Yes, sir.
And I urge you to wait until, because if the emergency meeting doesn't resolve the emergency situation, there will be a state of emergency in this country today. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
But I cannot do without thanking Peter for having consistently, Aisha, Mama P, and all of us, who have been saying that this is unacceptable.
Yes.
But I will say one last.
They are having an emergency meeting, and if the outcome of the emergency meeting failed to address the emergency situation, there will be a state of emergency in Nigeria. Omoyele Sowore, 2026. That's a quote. Yeah, can somebody put it out already? The senators are having emergency meeting, and if the outcome of their emergency meeting failed to address the emergency situation, there will be a state of emergency in this country, in Nigeria. Omoyele Sowore. And indeed, there were others too. Okay. The Plateau Che Guevara. That is the Fidel Castro. Yeah, that is DeLong. So DeLong also came to the protest ground to insist that there must be mandatory electronic transfer of election results. And yeah, his own attendance. DeLong.
We want to see what is happening. No,
You are the country.
It will impact the same way that bad politicians have impacted their lives. The same way that more than 100 people were killed in Kwara, and instead of the president to clear his schedule and visit Kwara, he rather went for a wedding in Abuja. Do you know that in Nigeria today, bandits will send you a list? If kidnapper carry your people, part of their demand will include motorcycle tire. They will add provision. They will add cash. That is, bandits are in the bush collecting milk and meal of fuel. And then Nigeria does not have enough technology to do election. But somehow terrorists in the bush have divided the The real Yahoo boys are inside this building. The real Yahoo boys in Nigeria are in government houses. Petty criminals in Nigeria, if you want to steal enough to be able to bribe EFCC, bribe judiciary. That is why somebody if steal money as former governor, pay school fee for children up front, and still have the nerves to say, I'm still running for office. You know why? Because there is an INEC you will rig elections. Exactly. That is what we are here to stop. We must fix this issue of election, because the confidence of every corrupt politician is in a rigged electoral process. We say enough. Tinubu has 31 governors standing on mandates. They don't pay all influencers. They have city boy movement. Who is afraid of?
So what we are saying,
your oppressors, Nigerians. Yes. Stop being tools in the hands of them. The people we are fighting against are oppressing you. All of you are giving mic. You are looking for
you are doing the right thing.
Your oppressors, Nigerians. Yes. Stop being tools in the hands of them.
Many weary one leg when it comes to this having dialogue with your own elected lawmakers, representatives. I want you to listen to what Dalong actually said too. Just like Sowore, he also delivered what pretty much seems like a warning, not just to Akpabio, but to the APC, Ebekebe generally. While they were all out there, the senators started arriving. They started arriving, okay? And I'm going to take you to that one in the next few minutes. Of course, Dalong, the former minister under Bukwari.
And if you are dealing with a Kony president, you must also behave Kony. Kony Manda! If we have run out Nigerians in their large number, they would have gone and mobilized the criminals. They would have gone to Zamfara and bring fellow Turki. They would have gone to Niger Delta and get some criminals there. And then they will attack the crowd and they will say, oh, the crowd, the protest has turned violent. So we are monitoring them. The law-making processes is in stages. They are now meeting in there, trying to see how they will fool us. We are not going to be fooled. Even if they pass it, it is not yet over. We are now into stage 2. There are bandits. There are political bandits that occupy the forest between National Assembly and the villa. Any law that is passed, they will capture it, they will distort it, they will mutilate it, they will change the content. Once they finish, the president will just sign. Don't forget, President Bola Tinubu said, power is not a la carte. You have to grab it and run with it. He grabbed power, but he cannot run with good governance. He grabbed power, but he cannot run away with good governance. Therefore, I want to encourage the Nigerian people.
We will continue to build the crowd in accordance with their behavior. If the law is passed by the National Assembly, we have President Tinubu to contend with. He may decline assent. If the bill moves away from here, the protest will go to the gate of the villa. Once our law, electoral law, moves out from here and goes into the villa, we will also relocate and go to the villa. Yes. We will continue to mount the pressure there until Tinubu signs. Yes. If Tinubu signs, is the beginning of the struggle. Yes. We are going to police the law to the polling unit. Exactly. Nigerian people must police the law to the polling unit. We must stop vote buying at the polling unit. We must stop APC people from stealing the election. Yes. If the election is concluded, we must ensure that the results are transmitted electronically. Yes. Yes. Once that is done, we are not going to allow them to gather in ICC again. We move to ICC. No. 2027, all of us will be outside while the INEC chairman will be collecting the result. We are not going to allow them to sit with cup of tea after voting, not going and then wake up and tell us that, oh, there is now a digital ministry, not technical again. And that if you disagree, you should go to court. It's not going to happen. We are not going to court again. So for the young people, those of us who are now advanced in age, I have been on the street for 50 years. Aluta continue. I am here not to hand over power to you, but I'm here to hand over the battle of the struggle. Yes. You must continue to struggle because if this kind of leaders are in power, Nigeria cannot be peaceful. Aluta continue. Aluta continue. Aluta, aluta, aluta continue. And if you are dealing with a corny president,
Continua. Sabongida Fidel Castro. His name is Solomon Dalong, but you can identify him as you can call him a Sabongida Fidel Castro, Abi Langtang Fidel Castro. He's the guy who believes that he's a revolutionary. Do you get that now? Like somebody who was supposed to be, and he loves dressing like that too. He dresses like the same way fought with Fidel Castro in the Bay of Pigs in Cuba back in 1950. What? 1954, beginning, you know. Aluta continua, Victoria Asata. High right. So meanwhile, the senators started arriving, okay, to put the final nails on the coffin of their agenda. While people continue to scream and shout, we want mandatory, real-time, electronic transfer of results. It will curb all kinds of, manipulations to some extent. The guys met inside and decided to play everybody. And right now, I am probably people are still trying to digest it, like what just happened. Because this is what people are saying. Prior to 2026, the Supreme Court of Nigeria said there was nothing electronic transmission of results in your law. But there is transfer, which is the manual way of transferring the ballot boxes, ballot results, the blah, the blah. So people said, include it in the law. And in fact, make it the law. There is nothing about transfer, or have you remove all this transfer, stop giving excuses that, technology is this or electricity is that in 2026, when people can easily transfer money from every part of Nigeria, including the remotest part of Nigeria. What are you talking about? Yeah? So now, the argument of this gang, Akpabio's gang, is that they want to do what is best for Nigeria. All of you cannot think you know Nigeria very well like them. Okay, so they are not interested in any improved technology or no. But they want trillions spent on the fake and bogus technology on your elections, by the way. So Akpabio and his gang then met. First, the arrival. Second, when they withdrawn the controversial one that they denied that they've passed or they've not passed. So they've actually passed it. They had to like move a motion to withdraw it. They moved another motion this time to play the entire country. But let's start with this. The arrivals. Anyway, when they finally pretended to have settled, and the business of the day was moved, so back and forth and all that. The first thing was to withdraw the one they've already passed, which is to continue to transfer election results. And if INEC feels like they want to electronically transmit the results, they can do that too, but that's just at their own discretion. Yeah, is that part.
It shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon conclusion upon a substantive motion for rescission. Mr. President, I am craving for the indulgence of the Senate for a rescission of our decision as regards sections Clause 60, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act amendment. Recommendation that of the bill.
Electoral Act Amendment.
Yes, Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
Is that contained in 1482 of the Votes and Proceedings?
Page 1482 of our Votes and Proceedings.
So you want to rescind the decision we took last?
Yes, I want that decision to be rescinded.
Distinguished colleagues, is it those in support that he should proceed under this what order did you come under? Huh? 62, under order 62. Senator Nengi, please.
Mr. President,
Adam Brent.
My name is Senator Nengi, and I represent Bakshi Central.
Yes.
I rise to second the motion ably moved and canvassed by the Senate whip of this House that under order 1B26 that the Senate should accordingly rescind its earlier decision on clause 60(3) of the Electoral Act and repeal and previously passed and recommit That is the motion. He moved. He did. He did the motion.
Sorry. Distinguished colleagues.
Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, first of all, the point of order is upheld.
Mr. President.
And secondly, we now give you the opportunity to proceed with your motion.
Yes, what I did earlier on is an explanation to the questions that you
I
posed.
have told you,
yes,
the
you,
Senate has given you,
There's
have
a
the floor.
motion, Mr. President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. My motion is motion for rescission on clause 60 subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022 repeal and enactment bill 2026. The motion reads that the Senate recalls that the Electoral Act repeal and enactment bill was passed by the Senate on Wednesday, 4 February 2026. Note that upon careful examination of the bill, fresh issues have emerged.
Senator Monguno, just a minute.
Yes.
Distinguished colleagues, will it be out of place for us to finish with the votes and proceedings, and then he can go ahead and change any part? Senator, please sit down. Senator Yaya.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am Yahya Abdullahi representing Cabinet. What he has raised now is a kind of a notification or a correction to what is there on the proceedings. So we just note that and then we finish the consideration of both of proceedings, after which we give him a chance to read his motion.
Exactly. He's right.
Now, no, it's not correct. Because already he has invoked order 1B. And it was put to vote and it was agreed. So he should continue. He's talking about if we are following a normal procedure. He's talking about if we are following a normal procedure, but he has invoked order 1B to put that aside and then move on to deal with this matter. So he should deal with the matter.
Well guided. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will read again. The motion reads, the Senate recalls that the Electoral Act repeal and enactment bill was passed by the Senate on Wednesday, 4 February 2026. Note that the bill, fresh issues have emerged in respect of clause 60 sub 3, which requires consideration in order to ensure the conduct of smooth, transparent, and credible elections in Nigeria. And relying on the provisions of orders 1B and 52(6) of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended, accordingly resolves to rescind decision on clause 60 sub 3 of the Electoral Act, repeal and enactment bill as previously passed, and recommit clause 63 for reconsideration and passage. I so move. Mr. President, the reasoning behind this amendment,
Mr. President,
is that
point of order.
I'm just giving background information for the reason behind this amendment. The reasoning behind this amendment is I was the one who moved a motion for the retention of the existing act, and it was as a result of the controversy generated whether to use the word transfer or transmission. The controversy that it was generated, in order to clear that controversy, that this motion was brought in order to clear that controversy.
Right.
Who did this thing to us? Okay. May God forgive all of us.
Right, right.
Amen. So there, they moved the motion to rescind the earlier motion or bill passed by the same National Assembly. Now, this is still between the National Assembly, playing the games. It hasn't gotten to that of Kolu's desk yet, because they will still review it as they are monitoring behind the scene. Calling Akpabio, are you sure you have this under control? So, are you sure you can handle this? Are you sure this or that? So we have all the control of the National Assembly. Forget about the noise out there. We don't care about them. So after a few hours, kind of like, it wasn't even hours, after a few minutes deliberation, they moved the motion to say, you know what? If their problem is to include electronic transmission of results in the law, okay, include it, but make it the second option. Have you read the part yet? For some of you have received the news that, oh yeah, they have included it now. Well, yes, they did. But it is optional. Just exactly how it was in 2022. But different now that they are using or transfer and transmit together. You get that now? So it's now up to the INEC to say, we will do transmit or we will do transfer. They will still be right. So nothing has been won. And yet, it's Akpabio probably saying, well, you know what? After last night's meeting, we've decided that let us include it. And we know that INEC will not use it anyway. And you know what I mean? So he announced that he promised that Kolu will sign this one if they take it to him. Akpabio.
It's very simple. If you disagree with him, move your counter motion. So if you agree with him, you agree with me when I put the votes. When I ask for the votes, when I ask for your consent, let me read the motion. His earlier motion which passed in our last sitting, he has sought to rescind that. That is in respect of section 60 subsection 3. And this is what it is. That the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the IRF portal. And such transmission shall be done after the prescribed form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling units, because sometimes you don't see any polling agent. Provided that if the electronic transmission of the result fails, if it fails as a result of communication failure, in other words, maybe network or otherwise, and it becomes impossible to transmit the result electronically in form EC8A, signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned candidates or polling agents where available at the polling units. The form EC8A shall in such a case be the primary source of collation and declaration of results. So, distinguished colleagues, if anybody has a counter motion, you move it later. But in the meantime, those in support of the motion as enunciated by Senator Mongunu and seconded by Senator Bamoro, say aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it. There's a point of order.
Mr. President.
But let me just mention that after consultation with the leadership, we have moved the number from 9 to 12. So I quickly read out the number of the conference committee members from the Senate. And Senator Lalong Simon Bako is the chairman. Senator Mongunu Mohamed Tahir is a member. Senator Aliru Adamu Mohamed, my leader, is also a member. Dismissed Senator Ojus Okalu, my leader. Remember, you were a governor before me, so you are still a leader. And you are my in-law. You are my in-law. No. Okay, I'll come to that. Senator Abamuru is a member. Senator Asuku Ekpeyong is a member. Senator Abbas Aminu Iya Aminu Abbas is a member. Senator Abiru Mukai Adetukumbo is a member. Senator Adebomire Adeniyi Ayodele, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, is a member. Senator Jibrin Isa Ochocho is a member. Dismissed Senator Banigo Ipalibo Harry is a member. Dismissed Senator Nweboyi is a member. That makes it 12, so that we were together with our colleagues in the House of Representatives. The conference committee, when you meet, you know that this is a matter of urgency. I believe that if you're able to conclude within the next few days or 1 week, the president should be able to sign this amended electoral bill into an act of parliament within this month of February. So I wish you a worthy deliberation with your colleagues. It's very simple.
So, Akpabio and his gang, they have succeeded in using one stone to kill two birds. To say, you want it to be part of Jilon Abi, to be stated here that in places where they can't have maybe network issues and the rest of that, okay? So they can then resort to manual Abi. So the other states, like they said, all these northern states, okay, that they claimed kind of like network, denied. I don't know what they described it as. One of them spoke about it earlier, right? Said it's deprived. That's the word. The states that are network deprived, so they would not even think about the e-transmission and all that, according to the Akpabio's theory. But nevertheless, you want it inside. Okay, fine. What about the part that says INEC can decide which of them they want to use? Have you expunged that? No, they haven't. Or Ken Okonkwo, after that entire, escapade and all that, he's got this to say. It is a scam. There is no new electoral act that will make 2027 election different. In fact, it is called scientific rigging. Pay attention.
For a moment, they are reacting to the emotions of Nigeria and listening to the Nigerian people. They came and they adopted the voting proceeding today, but that's how all it ended. That clause 63 has been adopted and voted for in that manner.
Well, what I saw today was treachery.
What do you mean?
It was deceit.
It was 419, the way we know it in Nigeria, obtaining by false pretense. First of all, Senator Mungono told Nigerians that they had to summon this session in order to listen to the yearnings of Nigerians, in order to take their will into consideration. What did they end up doing? They took their own will into consideration through the back door. What have we been saying? What we have been saying is that we want unconditional electronic transmission of polling unit results to preserve the integrity of our results. Let me make it clear. We do not have anything like electronic collation of results. What we have is electronic preservation, storage, and transmission of the manually generated polling unit results in order to preserve the integrity of the result. In other words, Nigerians have discovered that our problem is that in between polling unit and the collation center, a lot of abracadabra take place that mutilates, that inflates, that fraudulently manipulates the polling unit results in order to give you not what the people voted, but what the counters of the elections would want. What did the senators do today? What they did was that they said, oh, we can now electronically transmit with a proviso that when it is not possible to transmit, you will use the manual. That is the discussion we have been fighting for.
Is it not safer?
No, it is dangerous.
Can you trust technology 100%?
When it comes to this issue, I trust it 100%. Why am I saying so? INEC was the one who invented IRF portal. They have never complained for one day since they started using it, almost 2020, that technology failed them in uploading the result. Not one day. But let me tell you the funny thing. BVAS is the technological device that INEC chose to accredit voters. And BVAS, by section 47, subsection 1 to 3, they said you must accredit with BVAS. And when BVAS is not working, what do? They didn't say you should rely on the manual register of voters. They said you should cancel the election and reschedule it. And this is BVAS working throughout the day. Yet the consequence, if it is not working, is that you cancel the election. The same BVAS is what they said they are going to use to upload the scanned copy of the Form EC8A on the IRF portal. One transaction. And then you're telling us that if that one transaction does not go, they should go back to the manual. No. That is legitimatizing the technical glitch which Yakubu Mohammed brought. Because what they are simply saying is that the proviso reads, when there is technical glitch, in quotes, by INEC, because they are the ones who will tell you they don't have network, then use the manual. That was exactly what happened in 2023. Amazon Website Services said there was no glitch. Nothing happened to their station. INEC said that there was glitch. And when you want to go to court, they will tell you, he that asserts should prove, even when you don't have the document. Let me tell you what the Supreme Court said about proviso. In the case of NDIC versus Okem Enterprises Limited, 2004, 10 Nigeria Weekly Law Report, part 880 at page 107. The Supreme Court said the purpose of proviso in a statutory enactment is to qualify or cut down the main clause in the statute preceding it. Remember what happened in the case of Abegunde, Abegunde and the Ondo State House of Assembly. The Supreme Court said that proviso means that, yes, if you defect from one party to the other, you lose your seat, provided that there is no division in the party. That is what the proviso does. The proviso destroys the main clause to the limit of whatever they say. So when they say that the proviso is that you cannot use manual, it has destroyed completely the electronically transmitted.
Let me break it down
that we have been fighting for.
He's a lawyer. and I believe everything is said. Or maybe I should explain it to you in the layman, in the temple. Practically what Akpabio and gang did was, like I explained earlier, that you wanted electronic transmission of result, Abi. Okay, fine, put it. But in place where there is no network, or there's a network glitch, then we have to use manual. You have automatically defeated the purpose of saying you want to do electronic transmission. Because all it's going to take is just for INEC to tell you that there is no server, there is no network. And once they say there's no network, they start using manual. They've not broken any law. So whatever you have tried to avoid because of this manual stuff, right, then you would have to deal with. Because INEC will say they are not breaking any law. Proviso in law is, like he explained it, okay, is to cut down or qualify the section before it. For example, this black object shall be used to open all the doors. That's straightforward, Abi. All doors will open once you have this device. But then subsection 1 says, right? However, if the type of battery inside this device is of so and so, then it may not open all the doors. So that simply means that this device, the section that says it opens all doors, is not sacrosanct. It is not final. So therefore, the section, the subsection next to it, as either would then like water it down or even qualify it to say, oh, hang on, if you put this so type of battery, it will open all doors. So as the subsections continue to grow, it watered down the first one, the first line that said, this device opens all doors. That's what Akpabio and the gang have done. You want electronic transmission of result? Okay, yeah, put it in the law. But the next section, the subsection after it says, INEC can decide to use manual if there is no network. So what does that mean? It gives INEC the power to say, because there is no network, they are going to use manual. So they will use electronic here, use manual there, but you will never have an opportunity of having all of the results together at the same time to get an actual winner ever. Do you see that? The purpose is defeated. And it is not because there is no network in all these places, even rural areas in Nigeria. They have what they call the POS. It's almost everywhere.
And being cascaded down again by Mr. Peter Aka and the rest of us who follow suit immediately. During the 2023 general election, we realized that there's a lacuna in the Electoral Act. Of course, some of the political parties that were together in the Inter-Party Advisory Council actually have been championing the issue of electoral reform. Now, let me make a clarification. There is a kind of misinformation that Section 222 of the Electoral Act that is being retained by the National Assembly or was being precipitated on the fact that some areas do not have network. And that there's this particular word that they're trying to manipulate, transfer and transmit. To transfer means that at any time you could decide to transfer, just like you transferring money. But remember also, at the time in which you are transferring money, the bank ensures that they transmit immediately. You know, transmission means at the time in which you transfer, it reaches that particular person. So there are two words, but they are being manipulated in a way to mean one thing. So the National Assembly idea of trying to say, we've already approved the issue of transfer and all. The question is that if you and I who live in the village want to do transfer of money, it goes immediately. Why is it difficult for you to transfer or transit election results? So that's to tell you there's a question mark in it.
You don't think that perhaps looking at it from the other side, that this is just an attempt to ensure that they don't toy or gamble with the electoral process and they're trying to be realistic as much as possible.
There's no anything about realistic here. It shows our deficiency. For any country like, for example, India, who has more population, possibly more bigger landmark, and the number of voters and all, can transmit result at real time immediately for over millions of voters.
Billions.
Billions.
India is in the billions.
Billions, yes, they can transfer result at that particular. What happened to us? In fact, if you are real and you are serious as a nation, it should be a shame on ourselves and the leaders in the National Assembly. But at this point, let me also appreciate some of the senators, using Senator Abaribe as a point of contact, who were able to come out and say, this is exactly what took place. This is just to encourage those who are developing cold feet in challenging the status quo. Right. That yes, because some of them have come out and say, this is exactly, because many of us wouldn't have known that there was actually an attempt to manipulate the system where it was not correct. So the truth about it is that we should have even find out and insist that those areas that it's assumed not to have any network, the National Assembly should give a marching order to show that they are progressive. Go and make sure there is power in that particular area, and there's also, they can easily transfer those particular results at real time. This is a marching order. That's to show you that you are interested in giving credible election. Look, ladies and gentlemen, none of us is doing this because we have a personal interest. No, we just want a credible election that will bring in credible leaders. We, and His Excellency, Mr. Peter.
Hey, that sounds good. If the government is serious, all it takes is their own supposed commitment, not finding reasons why an archaic idea will be sustained. In 2026, even Atiku, that has been contesting to be president of Nigeria for nearly 30 years, supports the transmission.
One leader. Okay. State chairman. State chairman.
Yes. You know, of the elections. But what we got is a mixture of electronic and manual transmission, which is going to cause more confusion or chaos than if we have a single tier, electoral transmission system, which is real-time electronic. That would be our preference. And I think there is need for all the opposition political parties to come together to pursue this issue. I mean, we shouldn't allow it to rest where they wanted it to rest today. Absolutely not. I don't support that.
Sir, will you be contesting for the 2027 election, and why are you here in Mina today?
Is it the first time that you have seen me here? Certainly not. I have always come here to pay my respects. The issue of contesting 2027 election does not even arise. I am a member of ADC, and we are busy trying to make sure that our structures are firmly rooted, from the world level, local government level, state level, up to the national level. And we are busy mobilizing people and also registering at the same time.
What's your opinion about the zoning conversation? Will ADC be zoning to any particular?
We have no zoning provision in the ADC's constitution. In fact, the only party that has zoning in its constitution is PDP.
Yeah. So Atiku was in Niger State earlier, I think, to see Abdusalami and Babangida. Well, enough of that. Let's take a bit of a detour. Still politics, okay? But this time it is not the dancing gang with Werewike. So this is Werewike Fubara. So earlier today, Fubara was seen inspecting some ongoing projects in his state. And then he referred to one of them as an ongoing project that was started by Werewike. Then a few minutes later, we saw Werewike at the airport talking about how Fubara himself and the House of Assembly members met with Kolu over the weekend. And the House of Assembly knows what to do. Kind of conflicting in a way, right? But people are saying somehow, Wike has received his last warning. He always received last warning. But Fulbara first. The Fulbara.
From your own observation, not just mine alone, they've achieved a lot. And in the course of our discussion, they are still assuring us that by October this year, they will deliver the project. So, in my assessment, what they need is the fund, and from my own end is the push. I strongly believe that this promise that we made to our people will deliver it by October, God willing. For me, this project is very important, considering the person who conceived it, my Oga, Honorable Minister. He had a very big vision. He believed that if I achieve this project at record time, Rivers people will be happy with me. So I also, notwithstanding whatever is happening, it is also my wish and my struggle to ensure that that wish comes to be. From your own.
Yeah, giving a shout out to his boss, Wike, and the boss.
Very kind to the people of the state. If there seems to be a problem between the legislature and the governor, and as a father, you really have to intervene. I remember this is the second time Mr. President intervened. I believe, by the grace of God, this will be the last time. I believe that the Assembly have told them to do this, to obey Mr. President, which I know they will not hesitate. And I also believe that the governor will carry out some part to make sure that this is the final time Rivers people will begin to hear this kind of discord. So that's it.
That's all.
I mean, 2 days ago, Wike was in Rivers State telling his supporters that they didn't need any governor to mobilize for Kolu. In fact, Kolu won't need any governor to mobilize for him. They are in charge. They will do it for him. And he should forget about Fulbara. So what changed? It is Rivers State. We call it a Rivers State of a drama. In December 2024, that was how they all took themselves to go and see Kolu inside the ass old rock, where they drafted an agreement that they said that Fulbara and all of them signed. But not long after that, they resumed their hostilities against themselves. Maybe this should be the throwback. December 2024.
Peace and finally returned to the state. All agreed to work together with the governor, and the governor also agreed to work together with all of us who are members of the same political family. Yes, just like humans, you have a disagreement, and then you also have a time to also settle your disagreement, and that has been finally concluded today, and we have come to report to Mr. President that is what we have agreed. So for me, everything is over, and enjoy everybody who believe to work with us, to also work together with everybody. That there's no more acrimony, there's nothing to say we are disagreeing. We have all agreed on everything. So we thank God. For me, it's a day we have to thank Almighty God.
It wasn't long after that they declared state of emergency. And you know, the rest is history, right? So I just thought I should mention it. And another thing that shocked me this afternoon is the announcement made by a lady inside the Aso Rock, I believe, telling us that Tinubu, what they call the Gigi Bola eyeglasses, reading glasses, that Tinubu has shared over 1.5 million eyeglasses in the last 1 year. It got shocked me somehow that I said, well, I'll let you know if you have benefited or your mama don't benefit and you are watching this video. I won't mind you raising up your hand. Oh, here you get, because that means you have benefited something from Kolu. 1.5 million reading glasses, eyeglasses. I have no idea, but here, listen.
Of Jigibola 2.0, the Eye Health Initiative of Nigeria, supporting His Excellency's efforts to bring life and livelihood saving sight to every corner across the nation. Jigibola 2.0 has already delivered reading glasses to 1.5 million Nigerians, and through expanded partnerships and investments, it's on track to reach another 5 million more. Before this life-saving initiative, more than 75 million Nigerians lived with an eye health condition, and 25 million needed a simple pair of reading glasses that costs less than 1,000 naira to produce. Yet too few had access to this simple yet transformative pair of reading glasses that can increase productivity and income by about 30%, strengthening families, communities, and the national economy. Jigibola 2.0 is reaching Nigerians long left behind, first-time glasses wearers, women, people in remote and rural communities. And by screening and providing eyeglasses to healthcare workers themselves, we are making medical care safer for everyone. But we must not stop here. We want to see its reach and impact continue to scale. Our goal is clear: 75 million Nigerians who need it with sustainable access to eye care services. And this is achievable with an all-of-government, multi-sectoral approach, such as enacting policies that support the full integration of vision screening and the provision of reading glasses through public health delivery systems, especially in primary health care. Expanding last-mile distribution channels beyond campaign burst to community health centers, pharmacies, faith-based networks, and private sector actors. We can also streamline import procedures for vision care products, improving supply reliability, minimizing custom delays, and reducing cost overruns. We can also eliminate duties on importation and support local manufacturing and production of these reading glasses, creating jobs for thousands of Nigerians. By committing dedicated funding to the Eye Health Department, training healthcare workers in near vision screening, monitoring outcomes, and making sure that every Nigerian who walks into a primary healthcare clinic has access to the highest quality eye care. By adopting these measures, Nigeria would solidify its position as a global exemplar in scaling vision care, and such commitments would be able to optimize and maximize the impact of investments to date, unlocking critical private sector partnerships, new economic opportunity, and mobilizing additional financing. Ladies and gentlemen, sight is not a luxury. It is a right, and the Jigibola 2.0 Eye Health Initiative is bringing this right to all Nigerians today and for future generations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not, the time is coming when you won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not.
Whether you believe it or not. I have two reactions. So my first reaction is this, and it is very much pedestrian, okay? So don't take it serious. When that lady came on the screen, the first thought that came to my mind, to my head, right, was that everybody just find their own small ways to chop big money inside this Tinubu's Nigeria. I mean, 1.5 million people have been given reading glasses to improve their sight, as well as their their eye health and the rest of that. Sounds so great. Somebody like that to say, but you realize that with the numbers she is kind of like a throwing around, okay? So they plan to give 75 million Nigerians glasses because they don't blind. Because of the Gary, the Foju, everybody. That's a different story, by the way, right? So now, if their target is 75 million, okay, that's at the rate of 1,000 per reading glasses. So that's going to be like 75 billion naira. So right now they don't cash out 1.5 million Nigerians. That's practically like 1.5 billion naira. That's not too much of a money, so to say. But my man just tell me, so whenever they just chop their own little. Some they chop out like in millions, hundreds of millions. Some are chopping theirs in hundreds of billions. Others are, you know what I mean? Like everybody they cut their own inside this whole thing. Nigerians who are now the beneficiaries. Let me give you another example before I continue with the lady, right? So another example is when they say that they are giving the poor Nigerians money. Here you get. You will read it, or you will see Tinubu's minister on the screen, and he's going to be telling you how they have given over 600 billion naira. They shared over 600 billion naira to 11.5 million Nigerians in 2 days without using bank transfer, just by giving them cash. Yeah, that's how some poor people are reacting. Especially we, the poor people, because I was like, how come we, the poor people, don't get anything? Because it is APC. Then on the second thought, I was like, that's kind of like a good thing, a systemic way where you could walk straight into the public hospital, right? And they will say, your eyes is getting bad, or to improve your eyesight, would you check out to carry out a free eye test here? We'll carry out a free eye test for you, and then we'll give you some recommended reading glasses or something. Here you get. That's kind of like a good thing, walk straight to the hospital, and if they have to say, the children and then the elderly, it's still a good thing. If 1.5 million, it's just that the number is so small, right? I mean, 1.5 million is still a lot of people. Something that would have been so popular if it is happening for real. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. So, to round it up tonight, it is still going to be that Omoyele Sowore's quote of 2026. We've forgotten it.
But I want to thank all of you who are here. I'm aware that they are having an emergency meeting. Yes, sir. And I urge you to wait until, because if the emergency meeting doesn't resolve the emergency situation, there will be a state of emergency in this country. Yes. It's as simple as that. Yes. But I want to thank all of you.
And on that note, I'm going to also thank every one of you for your time again on Maiyegun's Diary Politico. So I am going to see you another time. But remember, the fact that you stayed this long, shows that you would probably want to be here again. So like the broadcast, share it, subscribe to the channel as well. And thanks so much for all of the engagement. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1. Lórí Facebook, ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bó níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Maiyegun Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.